welcome to another episode of Yala.
But.
Yeah,
Am I not supposed to be the one to say that?
yeah. We didn't rehearse that. But yes, it is very special episode of Yala But today because, as you know, you didn't hear Haresh kicking off the podcast because today it's going to be just me, myself, Terence, with a very, very special guest host. Someone who perennially is always at the top of our top podcasts downloaded on Yala But every time he's a guest. We're talking about the one, the only, Mr. Rishi Budhrani.
What's going on?
Yes.
Yalla butters, yalla
Yes.
butt cracks. What do you call your audiences? Yalla buttites.
Yalla butters. Yeah, butter.
Yalla butters. Sorry,
Alright.
I call you all yalla butt cracks. I didn't mean to do that. I mean,
Butter
that's what
butter. Yeah. Butter
Yeah.
is a smoother kind of like lubricant kind of sounding kind of thing. But
Yeah, but-
I mean, I was just gonna say that we usually it's Haresh and myself, and this time because Haresh has he's busy with a few things like few important things like his wedding. We felt like we needed to hold together the fort with the same racial mix, the same racial mix in our podcast, and we're thinking, who is the resident Indian in the CMIO that we can reach out to?
Hey, Terrence, you know what's really weird about that? It's not just same racial and ethnic preference. You got the same dialect group also. You got another Cindy fella to replace your only Cindy friend, and I'm grateful, bro. I gotta say, my
And
aim is to take.
arguably also the better looking Cindy fella, lah, right?
Wow, thanks, man. Wow, your partner's gonna hate this episode. I'll tell you that much. He's like,
No,
what
is
is this?
Is that? I mean, I know that we've always talked about this. There's always this like, I think within the Cindy community, there's always a lot of discussion about who's doing what and where are you in your life and all that. Like between yourself and Haresh, have you ever had that kind of discussion? Comparing how things are going, dick size, stuff like that.
I don't know, man. Like, I think we come from a very different generation because, and I've said this before, I think both of us were written off by the community because we didn't have our own shop.
When you say shop,
like,
you mean like tailoring shop,
like
or
your own business or your own shop or your own thing. I mean, technically we kind of do, but it's in a different world, right? It's in show business, entertainment, where, as you would know, it's not like your lives are very public. So are your failures and so are your successes.
Yeah.
And when you're coming up the ranks in show business, you sometimes gotta do some shit that you don't want to do, lah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we've all had our fair share of the community going, "Ayo, what are these boys doing? What do you mean by dancing at people's wedding? Ayo, who will get married to you?"
Yeah, but speaking of shit that you don't want to do, right? Today, we are actually, Rishi has agreed to actually be a guest host on this podcast. We're going to talk about two topics. Yeah.
What?
We're going to talk about two topics that current affairs that are maybe out of the left field for Rishi. I think you're someone who's like, I think the last time we spoke to you, you've already attained this level of fame in Singapore in hosting the National Day Parade in Singapore. So there was a huge, in Singapore, celebrity milestones, there's like a huge step. So how has life been for you since NDP? What has changed and what hasn't changed?
Wow, hey, thanks, man. It's been a few months since I did NDP. You're right. I guess the biggest noticeable change is that a lot more elderly people stop me on under the block nowadays.
Elderly,
a
only.
lot of aunties, uncles. I'm assuming those are the only people who watch the parade this year. I don't know. Elderly people like children.
Yeah,
Children also, like primary school kids or kindergarten kids, when I host live events now and they happen to be there. So, maybe from this school is putting up this special performance.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Hey, you are the NDP boy." I say, "Thank you." And sometimes you kinda like, "Hey, uncle, are you the NDP host?" I say, "Uncle, your father lah, relax lah, alamak."
But do they come up to you like do you feel it's out of curiosity, or they want to like take selfies with you, or what is it?
I guess it's a bit of both. I do get a lot of stuff positive generally. I haven't got any hate mail yet, or like any attacks in the middle of boat key yet, but I do get people coming up going, it's very positive for the community. I've heard that said a lot, and these are people from the Indian community, regardless of South, North, Tamil, Malayali, Sindhi, Punjabi, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I've got people from all the Indian community coming up and saying, it's very nice to see you there. It's good to see you doing so well. We follow your work since you were. I mean, dude, you know, like we've all done like some kind of weird shit in our lives in showbiz.
Yeah.
Like I was that dude 12 years ago selling mattresses at the atrium of Plaza Singapura. You know what I mean? Like. And people know that. They're like, oh my god, this fella used to sell LG TVs at the ITE show.
LG TVs? What's that? LG TVs.
TVs.
I thought you were like what? He's selling what? LGBT?
Making a reference to the news. No.
No,
it's
but
not a concept that.
You said communities, lah. So I mean, obviously there's the race element to it, but also just within the community of comedians. I think you hosting NDP also felt like quite a big deal, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yes and no. I got flack from some of them going like, "Wow, this fucker sold out, man." I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the comics have a different perception, but no, like, it's just comics giving each other shit to keep ourselves real and grounded, right? Because no matter what you do, at the end of the day, the bricks and bones of it is you got to get onto a live stage and make people laugh for your shows.
That's right.
Sometimes, a show like The Parade doesn't necessarily lend itself to that genre of entertainment.
Yeah, that's true. But
but I've pitched it. I mean, full disclosure, man. At the after parties, I talked to the colonels and went, "Hey, how about giving a Singaporean comedian 5 minutes in front of the 25,000 people, clean show. If you don't like it, we don't put it on TV. But if you like it, we consider TV for the next year."
Yeah. So there is an element of you're bringing stand-up comedy to the mainstream, right?
I like to think that. I mean, I like a future in Singapore where stand-up could be a feature at NDP.
Stand up for Singapore. Stand up for Singapore, for real.
Bro. Literally. And you have comedians lined up and we all do our sets and then we book our flights to migrate to Australia that same night on 9th of August.
Yeah. but I mean, speaking of stand up for Singapore also, I think you're someone who hasn't just been standing in the same position. Sorry, I love these puns.
Nice segue, bro. Nice segue.
But you literally, I think, if I'm not wrong, I saw on your social media, you've also recently just ran was it a full marathon or a half marathon or something? But you did some running challenge, right?
I did 10 kilometers. 10 kilometers for the Standard Chartered run
10 kilometers. Okay, so Standard Chartered marathon is usually 42 kilometers, right? So
that's the full marathon, yeah.
So why did you decide to do the 10 km this year?
Well, in all honesty, they asked me if I wanted to be one of the run ambassadors this year. Because, I mean, I've been on a bit on a fitness journey in 2022. So the organizing team went, "Hey, Rish, we've seen your stuff. Would you be open to being a run ambassador?" I'm like, I don't mind, but I've never run more than like 5-6 click in my life.
Okay.
They're like, "Yeah, how about 21?" I'm like, maybe not.
So they give you an option, they give you options of how much you want to run.
I mean, obviously when they called, the first call was, I could hear that they were like, "Hey, do the marathon." And then when they heard me kind of putting all these caveats, they were like, "Oh, okay, how about half marathon?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no."
How about half what else you got? Half marathon?
Yeah. So we negotiated down to a quarter.
Okay. But it's an official category, It's an official category of 10 kilometers.
There were a few K people that I ran with on Saturday morning on the 3rd of December.
Yeah. So, was this another milestone in a year full of milestones for you? How big a deal was it?
It was a pretty big deal, man, for a variety of reasons, Terrence. Because one, it was my final fitness goal of the year, and I jumped at the chance because November, December typically is events time, and it's very easy if you don't have any fitness goal to kind of just let go, drink, eat, whatever. You are at shows and people want to get you drinks or like invite you to the buffet, and if there's nothing to work towards, sometimes I end up alcoholing or like eating rubbish. So at least this time, I knew that, okay, bro, you gotta have to run the first ever 10 kilometers in your life. So maybe you don't have that beer tonight.
Yeah. So I mean, if correct me if I'm wrong, but when you mentioned fitness goals earlier, one of them was at the start of the year had a lot to do with the aesthetics of having a six pack and being on a magazine, which has happened a couple of times already this year, right? I think was there Men's Health, and then subsequently was it GQ or what?
So Men's Health was the initial seed of the inspiration, but halfway through the journey, we realized Men's Health no longer prints in Singapore.
You outlasted Men's Health. Yeah.
We were like, okay, let's just do it anyway and see what happens. So we did Straits Times, the Fit and Fab column.
Yeah.
Then Yahoo Fitspo came knocking. We did that. And this was the one that completely took me just took me by surprise, right?
Yeah.
Because I thought I'd completed all my visual fitness goals of the year.
Yeah.
And I'm shooting this TV show in London with CNA. And I'm and it was a pretty hectic schedule because we went to Korea first, and then we went to London, and it was all within like a few weeks apart.
Yeah.
And I'm putting everything in my body from like, soju to fish and chips to ciders and everything else you can think like, okay? And on the last week of the shoot, I got a call from Esquire magazine.
Esquire.
Going, hey, Rishi, what's up? We're thinking of featuring you on the cover of the magazine. I'm like, that's bloody amazing. When? And they are like, oh, okay, it's next week. I'm like, what? Huh? And then I'm like, whoa, wait, what do you mean next week? And they're like, yeah. I said, what's the theme? And they're like, the theme is body. And I had this fucking like fish and chips in my hand and a cider in the other. I said, look, if the theme is anybody, then I'm there, But if it's body, I kind of need some time. It's not going to happen in a week.
Yeah.
And then we kind of negotiated back and forth. And I spoke to EJ, my trainer. I'm like, yo, what do you think, man? He's like, first of all, get the fuck out of there, get a salad, and let's try to get 2 weeks in so we can kind of figure something out. So we spoke to the magazine, and they were like, okay, the max we can do is like 13 days or what. So from the time I landed to the time I shot, I dropped 7 kilos for the shoot.
Oh shit! That's like you're like almost like you're doing a boxing match where you're like cutting weight to try and hit a certain limit or something.
It was horrible, man. I mean, and it's not like you see the final shots. It's not like I even had to get into like ripped shape or what. I just had to like not. I just had to look like my regular self, presentable.
Yeah. Wow.
Because I had been letting go for a while, you see. So, yeah, I mean, the images turned out great. I was the first Singaporean feature.
Wait, but
on this year's...
7 kilograms in 13 days is pretty crazy. Like, what was the big thing that you did to achieve the 7 kilograms?
So I guess because of the past year's foundation I've had with fitness, right? Like I kind of know the body, and as long as I cut out alcohol, as long as I cut out junk from my diet, and I start doing some decent amount of cardio daily, I actually start to drop weight pretty fast.
Really? 7 kilograms? That's a lot of alcohol that that you cut.
Alcohol. I mean, look, alcohol, rice, dessert, sweet, sugar. I'm talking about. I was eating a lot of junk, man.
Yeah.
Like walking down London, you see like, oh, Italian, let's go in. Or, oh, Turkish or kebabs. Yeah, let's do a 2 a.m. kebab because I feel like it. I just had to cut all of that out, get disciplined with the food, and do a bit of cardio, and it was okay. I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing it too often, but this was the requirement at the time.
But then after that, there was this 10-kilometer run that you're training for, right? Or was this you didn't even need to train, you just like ready to go from day one? Really?
Oh no, dude! I've never done 10 before, right? So I had to progressively increase 5, 6, 7, 8, 10.
Yeah.
And actually, I was quite fortunate that I came out unscathed, injury free generally. So I normally have problems with my hamstring or my calf or my ankle or my knee, but all that was okay. You know what is the one thing that got screwed up?
What?
I had bleeding nipples through the run, man. What the fuck?
It's the abrasion from your shirt, right?
Nipple chafing, dude. Like, I didn't even expect that. And I'm like, I didn't even realize it until we finished the 10K. And then one of the other runners went, hey, why are your tits bleeding? I'm like, ha, good joke. And I look down, I'm like, oh.
Was it like cold or something? That's why it got even worse?
I don't know, dude. It's never happened to me before. So I was really supremely surprised. And maybe it's, wearing a new material shirt and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that happened a lot to me in the army. But that was because of the army uniform. From running, I hear I guess if you got big pecs, big pecs and all, it makes it a harder problem for you. So the visual element of your fitness probably also made it running harder, basically, right?
Lesson learned. I mean, put some Vaseline on your boobies.
Or just go shirtless. Right.
Shirtless cannot, bro. I'm not there yet, I mean, hopefully at some point I can get there. But this is a public service announcement to all of you thinking of running long distances. Put some Vaseline on your nipples.
Maybe that's the next thing. Yeah. That's the next thing you'll be the ambassador for. After the Stand Chart run, the next thing is Vaseline. Vaseline will reach out to you.
It was so embarrassing, bro, because can you imagine, there are other people going up to the medical tent for crab or I fell down here or what. I go there, I got my blood coming out of my nipples and all the nurses and the volunteers were just like, hey, you host National Day.
And you're trying to tell them about your bleeding nipples.
I'm like, yeah, can we focus, please?
Yeah.
And then the doctor is like, oh, no, don't worry. This is very common. It's just
what's the treatment? What's the treatment? They just give you Vaseline, that's all. Or did they put plaster on it or what?
Yeah, they just put a dry gauze.
Oh, okay,
so I had squarish shaped nipples under my shirt for a while. They gave me a new t-shirt, thankfully. Yeah, man, it was a pretty wild weekend, I won't lie.
Okay.
A lot of things that have never happened before. I had to deal with that.
Wow, that's pretty crazy weekend, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and just to finish up this story, why I agreed to do it also was, and I think we've spoken about this before. One of the inspirations or one of the reasons I wanted to continue or start taking care of my health was, I was in a bad mental state because I lost my best friend, right?
Yeah. And
one of the themes for this year's marathon Standard Chartered runs was go beyond. And 3rd December happened to be that friend's birthday.
I see.
So what I suggested was hey, you know what? Can my theme be, because everyone was like, go beyond your mental capacity, go beyond your own whatever. And I'm like, yo, can I just say go beyond the limits of your friendship? So I roped in 5 friends who've never done it before also. And I tested the limits of our friendship. I said, okay, guys, wake up at 4:30. How many of you are on for it? Let's do it for our buddy lah. So yeah, man. I mean, 5 of us completed it. All of whom have never done it like that before. And it was a beautiful morning, man. We went out to eat some pratas after. So
So I
pretty
mean, yeah, like,
positive
it
morning.
sounds like it was a good way to also do something to commemorate your friendship with your buddy, and also for the others to also get together and actually do something physical together, right?
100%, man. The feeling's different. It reminded us of the old days where we were younger and playing football on Sunday mornings. You can't sleep or you can't rest after that because of the adrenaline. I'm glad everyone stepped up and did it, man. It was generally apart from like bleeding nipples, it was pretty cool weekend.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk a bit more about what you've been up to since NDP and all as well. There's one, but I know that people also want to know your thoughts about a couple of these topics that we're going to talk about. So
yes, sir.
It's the usual format for Yellow Butt is we find one serious topic and one slightly goofier topic, and we just talk about different viewpoints about it. And so the serious topic that we're actually going to talk about today is a recent study that has revealed that university graduates earn almost more than double of people with just ITE or secondary education. So this is a very recent study that was done by a associate professor Irene Ng of NUS, who is literally doing this study to understand about what the wage premium of a university degree is compared to other qualifications. Because there's a very big discussion about paper qualifications in Singapore, and Lawrence Wong saying that Singaporeans, we don't value hard work as opposed to the brain work, right? So this statistic of university median pay being 4,200 versus 2,000 for ITE or secondary education, this statistic literally jumps out at us saying, yes, Lawrence Wong was right. Singaporeans, we overvalue paper qualifications. But just hearing the headline like this, right, without going into all the details, what's the most immediate thing that comes to your mind?
It's increased since I graduated.
4,002 sounds like really high.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
And just to be clear, what do you study? What do you study?
I was a communications graduate from NTU's Wee Kim Wee School of Communications and Information.
Yeah. And back in the day, like if you heard someone graduated and had a job with $4,200, that would be a pretty fucking like kick-ass job, right?
Yeah, dude. I was offered a job of that amount. Well, a bit more than that. Upon graduation, but I had to literally sell my weekends for it.
Oh, really? What industry was that?
This was in the training industry. It was to basically coach students on study skills and memory skills.
I see.
And I was doing part-time during the uni. And when I graduated, the boss was like, yo, why don't you come work for me full-time? You do a 5-day week. And I'll pay you double and I think at that time the starting salary of uni grads, I'm talking about like 2009 or so, was maybe 2+, maybe 2, 3, 2, 5 around there, something like that.
Sounds about right, yeah.
And this guy offered me nearly double. But I had to work Saturdays and Sundays.
So you actually rejected it?
It's interesting what happened because my then girlfriend and my current wife as though there's a future wife. Shit, bro. I'm digging a hole for myself on Yala Butt. Damn. Yeah. So yeah, she was like, she's like, Rishi, I understand this sounds like an attractive offer. Okay, and it's probably a good financial decision, but just remember, if you take this job up, it's very likely that you will get sucked into it and you will not have time to do any of these things that you dream of.
Yeah.
Whether it's to do your MC work, your acting work. And man, she was spot on because a lot of times these high salaries that you get are the cost of selling your dreams.
Wow. That's very poetic. So that's what you're thinking when you see when you see that
Yeah,
median
that's what.
pay is like 4,200 for uni grads now.
Yeah. Imagine like from where to where. I guess it's a valid concern, right? Because in Singapore we do have that focus on growth and economic growth and how survival and growth is linked largely to economics.
Yeah, but isn't there like you know isn't there an element of this that you make a sacrifice, when you go to university as well? You make a sacrifice in terms of the cost of education, going spending 3 years or 4 years studying really in depth in one topic, and basically trying to pass exams and everything. So do you think that justifies the premium that university graduates get over A level or ITE graduates?
Yeah, I guess that's definitely a way to look at it. Like you've spent, I don't know, what the cost is now, maybe 40, 50 grand on a local education, or if you go overseas and you paid $500,000 for education, and
Yeah.
you expect that I should be paid at least this much. But there's also a barrier to entry, right? There's also you need to have gotten a certain amount of grades to qualify for university.
Yeah.
There's also you need to be able to afford university education. And I think, fortunately or unfortunately, these issues are very real. There are people who may have done pretty decently in school, whether it's in the poly or in the colleges or whatever, and they really want to pursue a university degree, but simply cannot afford it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think there are student loans available, but then again, you are tied down to that for a few years.
I mean, I can't speak for other industries, right? But for our industry, in the media industry, it does feel to me like the university premium would be. It sounds a bit big, compared to someone who's a diploma holder or A level ITE graduate, because a lot of our work, a lot of what we're paid for in our industry is actually experience, right? So spending time actually working, on the ground and everything is actually a lot more valuable than someone studying about media and all these things, But is that how you feel about it? Like when you see two comedians, one has a uni degree and one doesn't. Is there a difference in perception of how funny they are or how interesting they are?
Wow, that's a deep question, man. Well, I'll give you examples. Right, come off the top of my head. Someone like Ronnie Cheng, for example.
Yeah.
Like Ronnie Cheng's a double degree holder in law and finance, I think. Two degrees. And I think it kind of shows not just, in my opinion, it kind of shows not just in his work on stage, but in his work off stage. Business and law, maybe, sorry. Because, someone like him perhaps has that business acumen to be able to take your career to a different level.
Yeah.
Because of what you know and the amount of time you've spent studying a certain thing, or sometimes it's not even what you learn in the classroom. And I genuinely believe this. I think a lot of what I learned in university or varsity education has been outside of the classroom. Like what you just said, is that experience. It is that that on the job training.
Yeah.
That academia can't always give you.
Yeah.
It's almost as though what we have bought is time to get better at what we do, as opposed to just a grade or just a degree. And I think that's the beauty of varsity education, right? The flexibility of it allows you to learn so many things if you can be bothered, if you can be bothered to get out of the classroom and go and sign up for this course or meet this person or ask this question from this other professor, join this other group or do that minor. I think it just gives you time to learn. How you learn is really up to you.
I think something. Yeah, that's something. I think I agree with very much also that, especially in Singapore because of NS, right? And you start seeing when you're army, you start getting an allowance, and then you start seeing what regulars are earning and all that, and then you start, the inevitable feeling, shouldn't I be out there earning money and all that? It does creep up. So when you actually go to university, it actually is the antithesis of all that. You literally stop. I mean, not say stop, but you're surrounded by people whose job is to just sit there and think and write papers all day. You're meeting professors, you're meeting other very driven academics and all that, and that just puts you in an environment where it kind of like gives you space and time to like really think about what you want to do, right? And also at a time when your brain is just probably you're starting to mature and stop, not just thinking about like, where's the place, what do I do this weekend? Am I going to party and things like that, shit like that. So just having that space is important, and then being surrounded by people who, maybe they're not entirely motivated by just like, what's the biggest paycheck I can get, from whatever job I do. So that to me was a big value of the education, just being in that environment and just having time to figure things out. For you, like would you say it was formative for you in like your pursuing comedy and entertainment, those university years?
100%, man. 100%. Like there were things that I ended up doing directly or indirectly that led me on the path that I'm on today. One of those things being my internship, for example, that was set up by the university. I spent 6 months in a media production company that was at the forefront of HD content at the time. They were the first producers of HD content for Singtel Mio.
Yeah.
And I was doing everything from like camera assistant to sound to editing to PA to eventually convincing the boss to let me host something as a live event.
Just also having that opportunity, even just to pitch that was valuable, right? Being in a position.
Yeah. I mean, and again, I don't think it's something that you are told like in a classroom that, hey, you better ask for this, you better make sure that you request. No, it's kind of you go and then you are thrown into this melee of, some professionals, some amateurs. You learn things about office politics, you learn things about power. You learn how easily you can get screwed over. I mean, and we all have seen that, I took some hard knocks, hard hits, fell sick also during my internship, and by the end of it I had clarity about maybe not 100% what I wanted to do, but I had clarity of exactly what I didn't want to do. And that was production for but not just that. Okay, there was production for content that I was not stimulated by.
I see. Okay.
Which at the time, I'm talking about 2007 or 2008 around there. That wasn't like comedy content or what going out. It was just regular stuff. And I realized that if I'm not stimulated by the content, I cannot be doing any of these things.
Especially
the joy out of life
behind the camera, doing all that
behind the camera,
behind the scenes stuff, right? If you're being paid to host something, I think that's also a different story, right?
And that was a revelation, man. And I got told a lot, like even during the internship, there were producers, when some producers would be like, actually, you should try this intern Rishi out. He's quite funny, and he can, engage people. Then literally to my face, the head producer said, yeah, but the host needs to be good looking.
And then now you can go up to this person and then show them your Esquire magazine spread. Send them a signed copy.
No. I mean, it's TV, right? And people are brutal, and all those things that I went through kind of set me up for having a bit of thick skin in the long run, which you need if you are in this industry.
Yeah. But also so broadly speaking, if a young 16, 17-year-old guy comes up to you and says, I want to be I want to be like you in like 10 years time, I want to be a stand-up comedian. I want to be, hosting and doing a lot of different interesting shows in the media industry. Should I be going to university now? What would you say to that kid?
I would say you don't have to. You don't have to unless you've got the luxury of time, A, and B, unless you are really, really curious about what uni life is about. I mean,
and this is different. This is kind of different from what you were saying earlier about your experience back then, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, because I guess in my situation, I was both. I was extremely curious about what varsity life was about, and I came from the college. I didn't even go to poly. So the last school I had was uniforms and stuff. So the appeal of trying to go to a place where you had a bit more freedom to learn, and of course you don't. I mean, this is in retrospect lah. I mean, back then I just want to go uni, meet girls, hang out, party, make friends.
So all that was checked lah. You checked those boxes already. That's why
I did. Yeah, I mean, it was a great time. Like I got a chance to go on exchange also. For example, I spent like a semester in New York in this college called Ithaca.
Oh wow!
Which was, again, I was privileged to be able to do it lah. It's not something that, I mean, they pick like 2 students out of each batch.
Yeah.
And to get into the uni also was, the course at the time was, everybody says it's damn popular. They only take a batch of 150 kids or what. So I guess I was very lucky along the way lah. That these little things kind of fit here and there. I was lucky that I mean, like, for example, other exchange students, they will fly to New York and then they will stay in expensive individual garden apartments, and then they will hang out with other Asian kids.
Yeah.
But my experience was totally different because, I mean, I didn't have that kind of money to spare. Right. I didn't want to go to my folks and go like, hey, you think I could get some extra cash to kind of, stay in an expensive apartment in the US? No lah. I mean, it didn't make sense to me. And by then I was, making a bit of just doing side jobs, side hustle. I was teaching drama in schools to kids.
Yeah.
I was teaching Bollywood dance classes.
Bollywood dance classes.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Clementi Primary was one of the best Bollywood dance cohorts we ever did.
Wow.
I mean, so I was doing all this side hustle, and I had a bit of cash to spend on like beers in the States. But I did live in like the cheapest triple dorm white trash apartments on the campus. And because of that, I got to meet a lot of like proper American kids lah, like proper American kids who were who were winning the war on underage drinking and substance abuse against the campus police.
Yes, but yeah, so all this sounds like a lot of fun and very formative experience for you. So why wouldn't you recommend a young hungry comedian to want to experience all that as well?
I guess because you can do it without having to go to uni, but that's why the disclaimer I put it, you must be damn bloody curious, and you must really want to do it lah. Like I really wanted to do it. I really I've always thought about what college life in the States would be like. I've always thought about what being a filmmaker would be like, and at the time, based on the route, by the time I thought about it, for example, like if you know what you want to do in secondary school, then go to the poly, man. Like if you're damn sure you want to do media, or if you want to do film, or if you are into that world or what, yeah, maybe it's easier. I didn't know, you see. I wasn't sure. I was still kind of struggling to figure it out.
It gave you time to figure that out, try a few things on the side, and then I will ultimately know what you didn't want to do, right?
Yeah, I think that's a big deal. And a lot of people struggle because people say, hey, you know, young people especially, you know, they're like, oh, you know, what's your ambition? What do you want to do when you grow up? I'm like, you know, it's a win if you know what you don't want to do. Like through college, I realized I'm not going to be a doctor. I'm not going to be an engineer. I'm probably not going to be some kind of like some kind of software dude or what. I did apply to law school, and I did go for the interview in the middle of field camp.
And then?
With like camo in my eyes. And I remember there was one other.
How did that?
It was horrible, man. Like within the first, it was like a 3-hour thing. You know, you sit down with a bunch of lawyers. They talk to you about world affairs, legal issues. Then you go out and you do some essay. And I remember distinctly thinking, by the time I had come out and I started sitting down for the essay, I had tucked out my shirt and unbuttoned my top button and just kind of went, fuck this, man. I don't care anymore. Ain't
Done
happening.
Law school. But that means yeah, I mean, hearing what you say is true. Yeah, I'm just glad you're not advising people to skip university and you know, be a TikToker instead or anything like that lah.
Oh, dude, no, don't do that, man. Don't make that mistake of thinking, oh, dude, this is so important that you brought that up, because I think I sound like an old hag right now, but I watched this clip on TikTok, ironically, of Tom Hanks and Robert De Niro and Jamie Foxx and a few of these dudes in showbiz talking about what they wish they knew when they were younger. And two things stuck out, right? Robert De Niro said, look, just stay calm. Like whatever good's happening in your life, just stay calm, take it, be grateful for it, but keep working hard. Don't think that you're like, oh, this is it. Look at me, man. I'm the fucking TikToker with 8 million followers or whatever. Like, because he says, you know, I've seen people come, I've seen people go. And the most important thing we all got to realize is that nobody is indispensable, especially in show business. And I was just having this conversation with someone earlier today before I met you about how comedy, being a stand-up comedian, constantly reminds you of that, right? Because if you are any other kind of celebrity, whether you're an actor, a pop star, rapper, whatever it is, right? Or maybe rapper's a bit different. Actor, pop star, musician. If you get big, right? If you blow up, there is a chance you can be hot for a long time. Even if the current work you're putting out is not as sexy or not as amazing as, you know, the work that blew you up, you still probably have enough fans to kind of take you through, make your millions and all that shit, right? But with a comedian, you are literally only as good as your last live show. You know, like if you're a famous comedian, maybe the fans will give you 10 minutes up front. To go like, oh my God, I'm so happy he's here. Oh yeah, I love it. But for the other 50, 60 minutes, you better have some fucking jokes, man. You better still make me laugh, because otherwise, A, I'm going to tell people you're shit, and B, I'm not coming back.
It's quite a relentless work ethic you gotta have as a comedian. Like you can't just rest on like 1 hour of content that you created 5 years ago and just rehash it every single day. But I mean, that does bring up the point, like, because when Haresh and I, sometimes when you go to schools to talk, there are kids that come up to us and like literally are asking us, you know, I'm thinking of dropping out of school. Are you guys open for internships and all that? I'm like, whoa. Our message here isn't to just drop out of school and just fucking put all your eggs in the YouTube or TikTok basket. Like, it's like all these things are just they're platforms, they're tools, you know, to help you reach audiences. But ultimately it's a long-term game, and you got to be very sure that you want to like run this full 42-kilometer marathon before you know, throw everything into that basket. So I do worry that, you know, that sometimes the message gets lost when I tell people, oh, you don't necessarily need a degree to do what we're doing, but you know, it doesn't hurt to, you know, sometimes have more time to think about whether this is exactly what you want to do as well, right?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right there, man, Terence, because I think at the end of the day, if we can kind of convey the message of investment to the youth, right? At the end of the day, a university degree should not seem like a box you got to tick in order to get a job. But what it really is, in my opinion, for people who have successfully benefited from a varsity education, is that it is an investment in yourself.
That's right.
Whether it's that time or whether it is money that you had to take a loan for, or some of us, I mean, like I was very fortunate that my parents were able to afford a university education, you know. I of course I did my best to make sure I got into a local uni so the hit wasn't as hard. And I think for my dad, that was the biggest deal, because at the time a lot of his friends or whatever, you know, he was surrounded by, it was a bit of a trend that, oh, I'm sending my son to London to study, I'm sending my daughter to US to study. And back then that would be easily like 250 grand, 300 grand out, you know. And I brought that down like 20 grand to go to NTU by bus number 179 from Boon Lay MRT, you know, like. And I think that's the first time I saw love in my dad's eyes for me. He's like, wow, my son, well done.
Yeah. So there is that. Yeah, there is that. I think what you're saying is very true about the idea of an investment in yourself. Somehow it will find a way to, you know, pay you back in the future, but it might not be immediate, and you might feel like oh, there's an opportunity cost to go to university, but there is the element of investing in yourself that people don't think about. So yeah, you know, it's a
100%, man.
Yeah, it's the message I always give kids is, stay in school. You know, until you're once you complete a degree, then come and talk to us and all that.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, it's and then added what's the word? Added inspired thought that I had very recently when I was doing. Essentially, when I was doing this new show, Can I Make You a Suit Mate, which was based on my dad's life loosely. He never had a chance to study or like go beyond Sec 2 education because of his family circumstances. So I always say, you know, if you are in a situation where you have the privilege and the benefit of education, please take it. Take it, because there's nothing quite like it lah. And I don't mean like, you know, just go to class, books, just drown yourself in books and just do whatever the lecturer says. No, I mean like learn, like literally be open to learning almost anything. And that will really that will broaden your horizon so much, because beyond everything else, forget the books, forget the class, the lessons, the formula, whatever. What you will find is that you're essentially learning about yourself.
That is very true.
You know, what you are good at, what you are bad at, what kind of life you want to lead, answers to personal questions. And I wish for everyone that, you know, you find that one thing that comes incredibly easy to you and work incredibly hard at that thing.
That's right.
I think most people who are successful, I think that is the thing they do. Like, look at Jordan, right? Jordan's a good basketball player. He enjoyed it. But he also fucking used to, like, you know, ignore everybody and wake up at 4 o'clock and squeeze in an extra practice every day before the whole team is awake.
Yeah. You're talking about like just learning how to work on your strengths and applying that to the stuff that you're also the most interested in those years that you're discovering that, right? Yeah,
because we've all met people who are supremely hardworking, but they all always complain or they are unhappy with where they are. You're like, alamak, why am I working so hard? I still cannot. Maybe you're working hard at the wrong thing, right?
Yeah, correct.
And then we also meet those lazy geniuses
correct.
who are so good. You're like, oh my God. And like, whether it's in the world of entertainment or sport or even in research or whatever, you will see people, oh my God, if only this person were to put in a bit of effort, the sky's the limit.
I think Ricky Gervais himself has said it before, that one of the reasons he started so late in comedy at 38 and all, because at 38 years old, was because he had that approach where he felt like he was smart enough to get by, to do the minimum and get by. So that's how he basically led his life, and just realized and just thought, if I'm smart enough, I don't have to work that hard, but as long as I can, keep a roof over my head and all, I'm happy, and now he looks back at that, and he looks back at it with disgust. That the attitude that when you're given a privilege or you're given a certain talent or ability, when you're not maximizing it or trying to maximize it, that's a real disservice to not only yourself but the world, right?
Yeah. 100%, dude. That makes so much sense. You're just wasting it. And again, it's not just selfish towards yourself, it's selfish to the world, because imagine how much more you could do and how much change you could bring to society if you just applied yourself to what you were good at.
So that's a perfect segue, because I think you've touched so many lives when you became the host of NDP, as we were talking about.
No lah, please lah, bro.
Checking boxes, checking the box, and really hitting milestones. Because I do want to also, I think we're not just here to talk about news affairs, but also just to find out, what have you been up to creatively and all that since NDP? Because we know the magazine spreads the 6-pack, the marathon. I mean, running the quarter marathon.
Yeah.
But creatively, what have you been up to? You mentioned a little bit earlier about the show that you did. Maybe you want to talk about that first, or whatever else you've been up to.
I guess chronologically, the week of NDP, I reran my stand-up special Exposed.
Yes, that's right.
I had done it in June, which kind of covered some of my experiences, exposing the behind the scenes of the parade and all that.
Yeah.
And I chose to rerun the show the week of the parade. So the parade was on a Tuesday night. I did 2 shows, Friday, Saturday. And I had a blast, It was pretty freaking amazing to be able to close off.
Was there a specific reason you ran it so close to the show? Usually people, after a big show like NDP, you'd want to just chill for at least a couple of weeks, right? But for you just squeezed in the show right after.
I feel like whatever I do in life, right, and maybe this is something that I've developed over the past decade, whatever I do in life, whether it's within the realm of show business or outside of it, I got to come back to a stand-up comedy stage to process it.
Okay.
Whether it's something traumatizing, whether it's something positive, whether it's something life-changing, or whether it's something banal, whatever it is, I bring it back to a live comedy stage, and I turn it into jokes. I felt NDP was one such momentous occasion in my life.
Yeah.
And I felt like, if I talk about NDP a month after NDP, it might be like, it might still be in my system, and I wanted to get it out and close the chapter on that those few weeks of my life, and I thought that the best way to do it was, I had the theater. I mean, they were available.
Yeah.
We had 2 full shows. We had new audiences come in who had never seen me before because of NDP, for example.
Because of NDP, so there was a spike in the interest as well.
Yeah. Some clips from like the rehearsals went viral, or the preview shows went viral, for example.
Which ones went viral?
So there was someone who came for a preview, I think 3 weeks before the main show, where I go around talking to the audience, right?
Yeah.
And then there was some girl who said that I said, "What are you grateful for?" And she said, "I'm grateful for chicken rice. Where are my Gen Zs at?"
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was just
I remember
ridiculous. I mean, all this is unplanned, lah, right?
Yeah.
Unplanned to the extent that I don't know exactly how it's going to go when I go up there, because I get to spend like 2 minutes with these people before we go live.
Yeah.
Sometimes less. So someone else is vetting them to make sure they are not, out there to sabotage and suddenly put some random or like show middle finger on live TV or what. So
which has happened before, right?
which has happened, man. So it could have gone either way, but yeah. So that was one that went viral, and then the week of NDP, we were pretty much almost sold out in the last few tickets or so. I think again people watched, and then there was a bit of a spike towards the end. So it was just. It was great to be able to process it all. And then I used to get questions, like, "Oh, fuck, this guy is hosting the parade and coming out and then making fun of the colonel who's like, bro, what the fuck, how is he?" I mean, and I said, look, I mean, this is part of who we are, right? Like, you didn't come to watch some like sanitized corporate show. You came to watch a show called Exposed.
Yeah.
That's how it is, I did perform for the president.
Do you reserve seats for? Do you reserve any seats for like the NDP planning committee as well to come by and watch you?
The head of the chairman of the committee was there with his partner. Yes.
Wow. And what was the response?
He loved it. They both loved it. Look, the characters are a little exaggerated, of course. They understand it. They've seen my work. They're the ones who actually fought for me to be a part of the parade. So they were really cool about it, really supportive about it. And I'm grateful for the experience, to be able to have done the parade and my stand-up special in the same week. It was just magical. Yeah.
So is the litmus test for you for how they received it, like NDP 2023, like whether they call you up again, or is it in the card, even the cards for you personally?
I don't think they will call me back again, in all honesty, because I feel like I stand corrected, but I think if they were considering me, they would have called me by now.
I see. Because the timeline is a whole year, right? They plan for a whole year.
Yeah, I would have started to get some like, "Hey, what are you doing next year?" So, which I think is fair. I think it's if I'm invited to do it again, if they so wish, I mean, I will consider it, but maybe not the immediately. Maybe not the back to back lah. Yeah. Because I do believe, and one of the things I told the committee as well, is that, look, there's a shitload of talented people out there that are not MediaCorp artists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they are. I've watched some of these MCs of various races and various age groups and all, just fucking murder a live crowd like you've never seen before. And some of these people have been doing it 10 years, some 20 years. Just never had their shot, right? Because they never maybe crossed over to TV or what. I don't know what it is. But part of the discussion was that, and also about bringing more comedians into the mix. Like I said, do a few minutes here and there. I think more than anything, this round of us doing the parade and them inviting me was a bit of a building of trust for the future. That okay, see, tomorrow the meeting will be we got a stand-up comedian, and no issues. He was good. Yeah, he never. I mean, like, there was no complaints. Nobody went to jail for it. Nobody had some faux pas moment on live TV.
Yeah, I think you're very humbly saying you were a trailblazer. You trailblazed the way for the comedians of Singapore to be featured.
I'm saying I kicked the door. I kicked the door down, and I dodged the first few bullets.
And survived to tell the tale, right?
Yeah, I got grazed a little bit here and there, but the door's open now.
The door is open. That's true. Yeah. Okay, but then I mean, I don't want to keep harping on NDP, like it's
that's done. You're right.
So post the show, you did your solo show, but after that, like, what have you been
So the
creatively
next
up to?
major thing, I mean, I shot a new documentary for CNA that's coming out the last week of the year.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool as well. It's a tech documentary called "What's the Big Deal," which, I mean, the inside story of that is a little different, because initially when I was approached to do the show, the initial title was "What's the Deal," right? And it was about me, a regular dude going around and being curious about technology in all parts of the world and different industries.
Yeah.
But then the channel head was like, I think we need something a bit more bigger, more bombastic.
Literally,
so it
add the
changes to
word
what's
big.
the big deal.
That's what they pay the big bucks for, right? Make decisions.
Which kind of changes the tone a little bit, Now I just sound like I'm some skeptical guy. Like anything I see, I'm not impressed, Like, what? You got Bluetooth contact lenses that can administer insulin levels 24 hours? I'm like, what's the big deal?
That's like a catchphrase throughout the whole show.
Yeah. Everybody's been fun, The production team has been cool.
So that's what you're in London for, right? You went to London for that.
We went to London for that. We went to Korea for that.
Wow.
We did we did some shoots in Singapore. It was pretty amazing, man. I mean, good crews, good team. Willing to. I think even the EPs on this show were clear from the start that they wanted to take some risks with the treatment. Because otherwise you rarely see a stand-up comedian hosting a CNA show.
Oh, really? Like that's another trailblazing moment.
I guess it's just people are trying different things because it's almost as though COVID has helped to reset certain practices or certain minds and go like, hey, look, it's a new world now. Let's give it a go and I mean, full credit to the MediaCorp CNA team they fought for certain things to go like, let's try, it's okay. Let's give it a go, no problem. That's cool. There was some discussions that we had to have and everything, but I haven't seen the final series, but I think we got a bunch of decent footage and I'm looking forward to watching it.
Got it. So that's coming out end of the year.
End of the year, yeah.
But you've also done a solo show, right?
Yeah, that was the last public show I did for 2022, which was a show called "Can I Make You a Suit, Mate?" So this is basically like a one-man show, a character monologue that involved elements of improv, a bit of storytelling, a bit of jokes, and a bit of drama. I mean, I guess in retrospect, it's probably like a dramedy lah. It's probably the closest genre I could bunch it up in.
And what was the genesis of this? Like, why a dramedy solo show?
So I was sitting at the Melbourne Comedy Festival in 2016 with my buddy Jason Leong, right? We were doing a show together back then. Dr. Jason Leong.
Dr. Jason Leong from Malaysia, who has been on this podcast before. Yes.
Yeah. So we were doing like a combined show at the time. And we were watching a bunch of shows as well, like just soaking in the festival, learning, watching. And I saw this one-man show by an improviser named Steen Raskopoulos.
Yeah.
It's Aussie-based comic. Well, not really comedian, more improviser, And I watched his one-man show called You Know the Drill, which was quite magical to me because it was him on stage alone for about an hour, doing multiple characters. And at the same time, improvising with the audience. Bringing people on stage, going into the crowd, allowing people to be part of the narrative, giving them props, and then, kind of almost linking multiple stories that came together at the end as one with the help of the audience.
I see.
And I remember sitting there thinking that would be, wow, that is fucking inspiring. And maybe one day I could do something like that. And then that was probably the seed of it. And then I started thinking about my dad and his life
Yep.
closer to the past few years,
and
and how he would call customers into the shop, his tailor shop, using his catchphrase called, "Can I make you a suit, mate?"
I see. And does he say
And I
it with
thought
the
about-
accent? Does he say it with that same accent as well?
He changes his accent depending on who he's talking to, lah. And it's just a bunch of really bad accents, lah. If he's talking to Aussie customers, "Can I make you a suit, mate?" And then if it's the American customers, he'll be like, "Hey, buddy, come, let me make you a suit, buddy. Come on."
And so, but this was, it's meant to sort of reflect your relationship with your dad, and as well as, how that has shaped you as an entertainer as well.
There's a little bit of that, I guess. I think the show, in all honesty, it requires a restaging because it's still growing, I believe. I do think that we put on a strong, powerful, interesting show for the 2 nights as part of Kala Utsavam, the Indian Festival of Arts at Esplanade. But I also feel that I would like to restage it and grow it a bit further, because there are certain things that I feel that I would do differently or add on or remove.
Got it.
I think it's good now, and we received a lot of positive feedback, not just from the fans and the audience that showed up, but also from like the reviews in the papers, which is pretty rare, lah. I don't normally. My stand-up shows don't get reviewed, you know what I'm saying?
So, there are plans to, modify, improve it, and restage it at a certain point in the coming year,
man.
The coming year,
100%. 2023 for sure.
2023.
There'll be a restaging at some point. I even hope to take it around to festivals globally.
I see. Oh, that's interesting.
I think.
But is it sold as like a theater production, or is it more stand-up comedy act, or?
I don't know. You see, that was also part of the experiment, right? The marketing, because a lot of people would like kind of stop me in the streets going like, "I bought tickets to your new stand-up show."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Which one?" They're like, "The suit one, ah." I'm like, "Oh, alamak, this is actually it's more of a theatrical monologue." I had to like kind of. Even till the night before the show, bro, I got a DM from one of the audience members like, "Hey, Rishi, my husband is a big fan of your videos. I'm surprising him, bringing him on his birthday to your live comedy show tomorrow. Can you give a shout out for his birthday?" I was like, "Alamak, it's not really that kind of show. I can't like break character and suddenly happy birthday to your husband, Mr. Zaid." It's just
so there were. The people had expectations that of what it was going to be, but this one. Would you characterize it more as Rishi the actor, Rishi the performer, or Rishi the comedian?
That's a tough one, lah, bro. I think it was all of the above, lah. In all honesty, because I do play a character who does jokes. At points, who tells stories, some of which had punchlines, even some of which were a bit more somber. I do improvise with the audience as well. Yeah, in character, of course. So, I don't know how to. I guess that's the other thing, right? As Singaporeans, okay, going back to university education, what university education maybe forces us to do is to break out of that systemic mold. Not everything needs to be defined. Not everything needs to be labeled. Yeah. I mean, maybe it helps for marketing if I could fucking come up with a proper label for this genre of show. But I think the genre itself, to me, I've never seen anything like it done in Singapore before. Maybe overseas, there are elements of it, because elements of character, elements of improvisation, elements of storytelling, elements of narrative in there as well. So I don't know what genre it is, lah, bro.
Okay.
Dramedy, lah, closest to what I can describe it as.
Okay. Okay, Dramedy. I think definitely anyone listening will be interested. They're probably sold and want to check it out already, lah. But we will come back to how they can possibly watch it next year. But there is another topic that we do need to talk about as well, which does delve into the element of going into your childhood psyche and figuring out certain things. And this is our goofy topic of just an article about a mother with a kid in preschool who forbids a child from eating birthday cakes in preschool. Which means basically, basically this mother, she went on TikTok. Her username is Kira Singyu, and she shared about this unusual rule that she has, that anytime another child in her child's preschool brings a birthday cake that is meant to be shared with all the other kids, she tells the teacher to serve her kid fruits instead of a slice of cake. And for that, she's gone. I mean, her TikTok has gone viral, and she's been getting a lot of pushback, to say the least, from people on the internet. So I know this sounds like it's a parenting issue, but actually, it does come down to basically what kind of experience we want for kids, young people and all. When you hear a headline like this, what's your most immediate thought?
Does she have a university degree or not? Is my first question.
Does she have a happy life?
Yeah. Did she go uni, or is she upset that? What is it? No lah. I guess the first thought. I mean, putting out a child. It's a bit sad, right? Like all your friends are eating cake, and then you cannot eat one bloody banana. Or worse still, if it's like papaya.
It's like everyone's just enjoying cakes, sitting around the cake, and then singing birthday songs, and the teacher has to pull you aside so that you can't touch the cake. And here's a bowl of fruits instead, because your mother said so.
Yeah, poor thing. I want to ask the child, okay? Child, if you are listening in, are you experiencing coercive control? If you
I don't think the mother wouldn't even allow the child to listen to anything on Spotify, that's for sure.
Right? Yeah, I mean, but child, if you are old enough and you are experiencing coercive control, reach out. We will see what we can maybe give you some hotline numbers.
Yeah. But to play the devil's advocate side of things, right? To play the devil's advocate, I mean, she's trying to create an environment where her child eats as healthy as possible, right? In spite of whatever they feed the child in school. So isn't that what a parent is supposed to do? Like, ensure that the child gets the best food they can, or at least not exposed to the bad things in life.
The nutrition aspect,
yeah, the nutrition aspect, especially processed foods. I mean, your year of fitness, you know how poisonous that is to anybody's diet, much less a child's. So don't you think she's starting the child early to think healthily about his life?
Okay, I think that's a good thing to do. I think that that habit. Full disclosure, I don't have kids of my own, but I've got a couple of nephews, for example.
Yeah.
And for example, my sister-in-law, she's one of those who's very particular about what her son eats as well. But for example, we had a birthday party, right, where we kind of organized it for him and his friends and all that. And then she had the idea that, oh no, let's just serve healthy stuff for the kids. Let's just put healthy drinks, healthy food.
It is for a birthday party for the
birthday party, yeah.
Okay.
For the kid, because she wants her son to have healthy eating habits. Okay, fair, good. But then what? I mean, just in case, I just threw some like Ribenas and Milos and juice boxes and all.
Yeah.
The one a bit more dubious Cokes and all that in there, and as you would understand, all the Ribena and the Coke all finished first. Kids were just like, fuck this healthy snack pack, bro. Give me some McDonald's. So my my point of telling that story is, I think at the end of the day, yeah, if I guess for parents it's very difficult. You know, you
Mm,
want to maintain
mm,
the health of your children, but perhaps there needs to be some kind of balance law. Like, yeah,
mm,
maybe if you are, and that's true for someone like me as well, right? If I'm
yeah.
doing 6 days a week of, you know, clean, nutrient dense food,
Mm,
like, you know, properly prepared, healthily prepared. Dude, I'm gonna have a char kway teow on Sunday. You
yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
want to have a beer on a Saturday night, for example, and that's what
Mm,
I did for my training, or that's what I still do, because I guess you got to juggle your mental state as well, lah, right? You can't be
mm.
like 100% eating clean 100% of the time.
Yeah. And like it's kind of like pressure cooker lah, right? You gotta let out the steam once in a while, lah, right?
Mm,
Same for a child. Like if you have to jaga the food all the time, I mean
yeah.
there are people literally in the comments saying, um, you take care of your child's diet now, and then next time, 10 years later when they have to go for therapy and all that, then that's where you'll be paying for it lah. Because
Oh
of all
dear,
your rejection
alamak.
from school and all.
That's a
So
bit harsh, lah.
it is.
Yo, poor things, yeah.
No, but it's true, right? You would feel quite ostracized when everyone else gets to eat cake and you don't because of what your mother says, like, right?
Yeah. I can imagine that might be a difficult situation to be in. I can appreciate that. Poor thing.
Yeah. I mean,
But okay, again, devil's advocate again. Sorry,
mm,
Terence, to cut you off. But
no, go ahead.
what about, you know? I mean, at one point in life,
Mm,
see, today this is the battle, right? Oh, I want my child to eat healthy. Okay,
yeah.
so y'all eat cake, no problem. What about the vegetarian children back in the day?
Mm,
My
but
mother say cannot eat meat, so everybody eat chicken rice. I eat rice with cucumber.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
or for example, and we could stretch the analogy even further to times where, you know, like, you know, now we're talking about like fruits, healthy food versus unhealthy food, and you got meat and vegetarian. Then maybe you got even Hindu, oh, cannot eat beef, so everybody eating steak, I must eat impossible meat or whatever the fuck lah. I don't know. I mean, impossible meat is the biggest scam. I don't know how, you know, Indian people who say, oh, I love impossible, Hindus specifically, who go, I love impossible meat. I'm like, how? What do you mean? You've never tasted the real thing. You don't have a reference point.
But you never know,
impossible. It's impossible for Hindus to appreciate impossible meat.
right? Yeah. But
They can't, yeah.
But I mean, maybe they accidentally have tried beef
Ate a
before.
cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And accidentally had a Kobe Kobe
yeah.
beef
They
steak.
fell onto a vat of meat and accidentally had it chewed it down their mouths. It's possible.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're raising a point about vegetarians in the sense of like if you go to a friend's party and then they're serving, I don't know, burgers or something like that, and you can't
I mean,
eat
back in
that,
the day, as kids, right? As
Yeah.
kids, like, see, now dietary restrictions are a big thing because people have understood the social implications of it.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, if I remember going to a party, and because in my house, for example, we were vegetarian on Mondays, for example.
That's right.
Mondays, the rules were all very rubber lah. Like, okay, Monday, no meat, nobody eat meat. Tuesday, cannot cook meat at home, can eat
Yeah.
outside. I mean, all that stuff. So if I were to go anywhere on a Monday and there's a spread of nuggets, chicken wings, this, that, all, then I just eat the fries only, lor.
And did that make
I
you
mean,
feel? How did that make you feel? Like, did you feel inadequate or anything?
No lah. I mean, it's just that fuck, today cannot eat chicken nuggets. Shit. Okay. I can only eat French fries. Mommy say only can eat French fries today. Okay, lor.
Does it still hold for you now? Like Mondays, no meat Mondays.
Unfortunately not lah, because I think that was a religious thing for the household more than anything else.
Okay.
I'm not an incredibly religious person. Like I was, again, for me, religion was based on my grandmother's, preferences and her her belief in the faith.
Yeah.
And she lived with us, right?
Yeah.
So we, as a form of respect, I think we all did that. My parents still follow those
Okay.
days,
So, like
Monday
in
and
those
veg.
situations, if you are going out with your friends on a Monday or something like that when you were younger, like and then I can't eat meat today. Do you expect everyone to also follow you and not eat meat, or
No.
would you? Okay, you all go to a place, I'll go somewhere else and find something else.
No. I think to me it was always like it's my what's the word my
Sacrifice.
flaw, my sacrifice, my flaw, my bad.
Yeah.
So for example, I remember we used to have tennis training on Mondays. And we're fucking famished, right? Like 3:00 in the afternoon, like you finish school at 1:00 and you rush to the Kallang McDonald's, and your buddies are all ordering like, oh fuck yeah, let's have a McChicken. I'm like, yeah, can I have a McChicken with no meat, please? Now, no patty cheeseburger or no patty filet-o-fish is a normal thing, They've got stickers on it. Last time, the auntie will look at you funny,
Like, what is wrong with you?
Don't want what? Don't want patty? What patty? No, I think don't want the chicken. McChicken, no chicken. Yes.
You mean that was the only way to ask for a patty-free burger? You can't just say, can I just have the bread and nothing else inside?
But I mean, then they'll ask you which burger, right? Cheeseburger, filet-o-fish, McChicken. It's all different buns, right?
Yeah. Oh, fish also cannot. Fish also cannot.
Fish also cannot. So after a while, I remember distinctly Mondays, the nutrition would be just 2 large fries.
2 large fries.
Before tennis training, yeah. I had friends who, like for example, I remember there were other veg kids around me, who were staunch veg, like proper, like don't eat meat at all.
Yeah.
Then they will order cheeseburger with no meat. So you just get like the burger sauce, you get the pickle.
And the cheese. Cheese also can cheese.
Yeah, cheese was cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was just, there was... but I guess we were a bit older, not in kindergarten or what lah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there is the aspect as well that, as you're recounting it, it's just, you just adapt lah, right? And we, over here on the internet, everyone's like, oh, your child's gonna grow up weird and fucking has to go therapy and shit. But actually, it's not such a big deal lah. You just adapt and you go and you order a cheeseburger without the burger lah, right? That's it.
I think, yeah, man. I think that would probably be the least of the child's concerns. I'm more concerned about the other aspects of the child's life. If there's that level of control for diet when the parent is not around, I'm hoping that there's a different set of rules. That they are things that are a bit more positive in other aspects of the child's life lah,
Yeah.
Because if it's that level of control in that area and there's that level of control in all aspects of the child's life, then maybe there are unfortunate implications on the future lah.
Yeah. No, there's the fear of revenge eating lah. Like you stop the child from eating cake today, then when they're a bit older and they have a bit more control, they'll just fucking be eating cake every day.
Shove everything in their face.
It was like, that's what it was when I was in army. Like 5 days a week, I'd be eating this crap food. On the weekend, I was like intent on like damaging my body just by eating whatever trash I could.
Yeah.
Just like, that was my big fuck you to the SAF. Like, oh, you want my body to be fit, is it? Okay, fuck y'all. Like, I'm going to chomp right now.
Take this, man. Take this Hokkien mee and shove it up your number 4.
Exactly. But yeah. It's I don't know. It's an interesting one, because even as not even parents, but even like my dogs and all that, I'm very quite I'm quite militant about what people can feed them as well and all that. I don't like it when I bring them out. Then let's say at a dog cafe, then people are like, oh, they have treats for dogs, and then they just randomly feed my dog like chicken and all. But that's because my dog seems to have an allergy. One of my dogs has an allergy to chicken, so she's really losing fur in certain spots of her body, So I sound like a bit like a Karen when I'm like scolding people about that. But do you do that for your dog or what?
My dog, the car. So we've got 2, right? One of them is a Maltipoo named Bubble who currently lives with my parents. And he's a bit. I mean, his stomach is a bit different, lah. Like he's also a bit more sensitive to different kinds of food. So we must give him a bit more specific kind of shit. Otherwise, he gets, his stools are not formed solid.
Yeah.
He starts getting like ear infection and all that. So after a lot of trial and error, we finally figured out, okay, this is all the shit you can eat. Cannot give him any rubbish.
Yeah.
But our SS, our Singapore special, the rescue puppy, who's a bit more hardy and who's a bit more like a vacuum cleaner on 4 feet.
It's a puppy. How old?
So she came to us when she was 3 months old. Now she's about 7.
Also, it's
turning 8 soon.
Quite recent, like 4-5 months ago.
Yeah. Just around August, September, around there.
Oh wow! Shout out to Singapore specials and kudos to you for taking one in, man. It's the dog community. The dog community is a very I think people who take in Singapore specials is a lot of respect for them. I mean, I have one also. Not trying to toot my own horn, but it's it's to be able to find space for Singapore special. It's a very beautiful moment, and then finding a home for them and integrating them to homes. Yeah,
100%, man. I mean, I'm with you on that. Like I guess the only downside right now is that the two of them are not greatest of friends yet.
Yeah.
That's still a work in progress, lah.
Specials are a bit more skittish, lah, right? Do you find?
Yeah. I mean, but again, because I think she came to us when she was very young. That was difficult times, bro. I won't lie, man. Days where, oh man, that I couldn't I remember one particular day where I was trying to get her to take a meal or something, and she was like running away, and we had to just prep her for something, whether it was medicine or what. I can't remember. Charul had just left the house for a workout. My wife Charul had left the house for a workout, and this girl was running around our living room, and as she ran past we've got a small, like a side table. Yeah. She kind of toppled it over. Right? And then when it toppled over, she got really freaked out. She got scared. Yeah. And as I was trying to run to her, I toppled another table over. And then she just went to hide under the couch. Yeah. And I just gave up and just sat there in the middle of the living room. And I called my wife. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I need you to come back. And Charul walks into the house with the puppy missing, with 2 tables flipped in the middle of the living room, me just on the ground, resigned to fate. She's like, what the fuck happened here, man?
King war zone.
Yeah, it was one of the toughest days, lah. But we got a very good trainer in, and she helped us understand a little bit about the psychology of the Singapore specials. And I mean, I think one of the things we learned is that there's no such thing as untrainable dogs. There's only untrained humans.
Yes, very true. Yeah,
like us. I mean, because when the trainer walked in the house, our puppy was just behaving as though she was the biggest fucking angel from like a gift of humanity. And the trainer started looking at me and Charul as though we were the problem. She's like, oh, I don't know, man. Lakshmi, her name is Lakshmi, the puppy. Oh, Lakshmi is great. Yeah, she's so precious. She's wonderful. Such a good puppy. And we were like, walao, this one really embarrassing the parents in front of the tuition teacher like that,
Yeah. I always think it's something to do with the aura that dog trainers have, whether it's also something that we humans, we don't sense, like the smell, like when they handle dogs, and dogs are more either more relaxed or they know who's boss, basically. Yeah. So when they walk in with that aura and everything, same thing. I also had the same issue where my dog was just for some reason just going nuts in the house. Then the moment we got the trainer to actually come in and all, suddenly he behaves like he knows who's the boss, and he's not gonna push any boundaries. It's kind of crazy how it works.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Is that I don't know if it's the smell, the body language, just that overall aura, they just kind of know that. I mean, I also think it's something to do with the fact that they are always with a pouch of treats in their bloody bag 100% of the time, right? They always have one pouch with some sexy treats in there.
Yeah. It's one of the tricks you learn as a dog owner. Lah. Yeah. Treats and walks are the two most important things.
Yeah, you don't give that, then you're in for a tough time. You're right.
Yeah. But we were just talking about your diet for your dogs, right? So you mentioned the Maltipoo has a bit of sensitive tummy and all.
Correct. For him, we are a bit more careful. For her, she's a bit more, I mean, yeah, she has her moments or what, but sometimes I feel like, okay lah, yeah, you want to have this, okay, you can. She's a bit more hardy. She's a bit more like, okay, yeah, she just, like yesterday, bro, she fucking chewed my wire of my new hydro gun that I got. I got a hydro gun to help me deal with the cramps of the runs. And I was like, okay, run finished already. Come home, looking to charge my hydro gun, but then she had chewed through the damn copper wires. I'm like, oh fuck! And I know what it was. It was my fault because we had screwed up her lunch schedule. We were a bit late.
I see.
So the moment that happens,
you can always boil it down to some very basic reason that they do these things.
There's always an explanation. With dogs, you realize that they act out of character, but it's almost always possible to trace what went wrong, and most of the time it's because of you. Yeah. You screwed up, so I ate your wire.
Maybe it was more like you've been spending way too much time on your body and working out and all that. So fuck the Theragun. I'm like, just gonna destroy it so that you'll be sore all day and regret working out and not spending time.
Then you won't run. Yeah, you won't run. You just be at home. And I can just lie down in your arms and we can watch like FIFA Uncovered again.
Dogs. They know the way to fuck up your day if they really need to.
Yeah, dude, you're absolutely right about that, lah.
Yeah. But cool. But yeah, so let us know, everyone. Let us know what your thoughts are about this birthday cake diet issue. But I wanted to just don't want to leave without also just asking like what's in the plans for 2023, lah. Like if people who are hungry to see more Rishi, like. Which magazine should they be buying, or which show should they be looking out for?
Well, so there's a couple of things that are in the pipeline. I definitely will be restaging Can I Make You a Suit Mate? That's being discussed as we speak, but likely in the second half of the year. I will be releasing a new stand-up show, a new stand-up hour. Awesome. In 2023 as well.
When you say releasing, meaning...
as in like
a show.
Going live with a new show.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And, well, those are the two main things right now. In terms of the fitness front, there's another body transformation that goes into plan in January.
Serious? Is there any preview of, or at least a hint of what this transformation is gonna look like?
I'll give you a clue lah. My trainer sent me a bottle to my house with the Wolverine logo on it.
Wolverine logo. What does that mean?
Man, all I know is that Hugh Jackman is coming back for Deadpool 3. So you never know.
Beautiful.
That's as much as I know at this point lah. I don't want to like oversell it. Scarlet Wolverine just means that grow out body hair and don't shave. That's the
don't cut your nails.
Don't cut your nails. So these are a few things. I mean, if you guys pick up Esquire magazine, you'll see my face there. Actually, I'll show you. I got one here. Hang on. I don't know why I got one here. Hang on. This is weird because I realize it's not a visual medium, but if you can hear me putting this up here, there you go.
I mean, what I'm seeing is Rishi holding up a copy of him looking like he's basically half naked, lying in a pool with his hands draped around his chin, I think. Yeah. Looking
this
very
was actually
sexy in the camera, yeah.
Let me set the scene for you orally, okay? So this is actually in the middle of Changi Beach at 6:40 a.m. with fucking cold water. And I am just in my board shorts, topless, and I've got a really stern look on my face because while we are trying to get this money shot with the sun rising behind us, I see a dead fish in the ocean right in front of me, just fucking floating across me. And I'm staring the bugger down with his bulging eyes. And the photographer went, got it. Money
Wow.
shot.
And the reason, I mean, people might not understand in the industry, why do you have to be there at 6:40 a.m. in the morning? Like, why so early?
Well, I think so. What the concept of the photo shoot was to try and get like a sunrise shot with the sun kind of reflecting off of the water, the surface of the water.
Yeah.
That's the idea, lah. I mean, they probably did their recce's. We were hoping it doesn't rain.
Yeah. No, it's literally like the angle of the sun making the best lighting for the shot and all that. But did it have anything to do with you not drinking water for whole evenings just so that your body will be as tight as possible? What was it? Any of that?
We did a water cut. You're right, man. Oh shit, that was rough.
So literally, that was you also quite dehydrated at that point in time in the water.
Yeah,
and all.
Pretty much, man. Dehydrated. A bit. Yeah, it was a bit of a crash. I didn't really enjoy that much. I mean, no, not that I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed it, but I wish I had more time to prep for it, in all honesty.
Okay, but the photo looks pretty amazing. Yeah.
It's okay, lah. I mean, it's funny. Well, I'll tell you, when does this go on air? I can tell you whether I can tell you the next thing.
Almost, probably by tomorrow, latest, yeah.
Tomorrow, right?
If not tonight, yeah, maybe tonight, yeah.
Oh, tonight, lah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is a Thursday, okay? On Friday, today's Monday. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, on Tuesday, 6th December, Esquire is going to reveal who... So, I was their November cover issue, right?
Yeah.
And on the 6th of December, which is tomorrow, they're going to reveal who their December cover issue is. And it's... For those people who understand showbiz, I know it's going to be a pretty big surprise who that is. Because, I mean... one of the cool things about this this cover, why it was such a big deal, was that I was the only Singaporean feature for Esquire magazine 2022.
Nice.
It was a pretty big deal because I'm sandwiched between people like Benedict Cumberbatch and like the Ukrainian president Zelensky and people like Ronnie Cheng, all these. Pretty wild names to have, like a Rishi Budhrani in between there somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think the next person they have is also someone of that level, but I can't say if this is going out. I think I'll just request people to check it out.
So it's something
I will announce it lah. I will announce it tomorrow.
Oh, on social media and everything lah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, wow.
Very interesting.
That's exciting.
Very interesting. Yeah.
So you're giving people something almost immediate to look out for. Coming
Guys,
up,
check out my socials on 6th December. I'm going to do a fucking odd reveal. Not odd lah. I mean, I think it's a cool reveal for people who are fans of show business and kind of understand how crazy it is that they made this next shoot happen also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to. But speaking of something cool, we always end also by talking about one Shiok Thing. And
one Shiok Thing.
Yeah, one Shiok Thing, something that you want to share with the audience that I mean they can also experience themselves at home. So, don't say, whether it's Shahruk's cooking or something. It's just something that they can actually experience for themselves. Yeah.
They could experience Shahruk's cooking.
Yeah, you've done this before, so I'll just ask you, do you have your one Shiok Thing ready?
I do.
Oh, cool.
I do, man. So I don't know if anyone follows this Singaporean animated series called Downstairs.
Yes.
We had 2 seasons of it on MeWatch, and then eventually it was on Netflix last year, or earlier this year or last year, I don't know. And season 3 just came out last week.
Wow,
yeah, season
3.
3 of Downstairs is currently on MeWatch. And it's got, the old gang coming back together. It's got Mr. Brown, it's got me, it's got Fucker Fuzz, Pat Mock, Sharul, and we got some surprise guests. Actually, no more surprise.
guest.
It's out already. So Kumar makes an appearance in
nice.
season 3.
Nice.
Gurmit Singh is in there. Irene Ang is in there.
Wow.
Ben King is in there.
Wow.
All as really interesting characters that the team has come up with. So, yeah, man. I mean, the first 5 episodes are out on MeWatch already. So go and check it out, man. I think there's some pretty funny shit in there.
So it is like the who's who of Singapore entertainment or comedy scene as well, who was featuring in this lah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of genuinely funny people on the show for sure.
Wow, that's pretty crazy, man. Okay, and they can, it's entirely out on MeWatch already, the full season.
The first 5 eps are out. I think by tomorrow or by this week. Actually, by this week you'll have 10 eps out. If I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Oh, pretty awesome. Yeah, check it out. Downstairs, season 3, right? You're saying?
That's right.
On MeWatch. Cool. My one Shiok thing is just, I guess it's just something. We're just living in crazy times now. Not sure if you know of this conspiracy theorist named Alex Jones. In the US, he's basically been banned from all platforms, from Twitter, from all social media because of his. He continually was insisting that some victims of school shootings were actually part of a government conspiracy to for some reason. So he's literally been I think he got sued by the parents of the Sandy Hook school shootings for defamation or something, and he's literally been basically been ordered to pay like billions of dollars for what reparations to the parents of the victims. So the crazy thing is that he still runs his conspiracy theory show called InfoWars, which is also banned on all platforms like YouTube and all. But you can go to his website and watch it. The crazy thing is that one of his latest guests on the show was Kanye West, or Ye West.
Oh my God!
Who is now also undergoing his crazy. He's having an episode definitely. Something's going on with him, and he's been spouting a lot of anti-Semitic stuff online. And he appeared in a mask on Alex Jones' show, and the stuff that he was saying was so terrible that it even made a conspiracy theorist like Alex Jones look sane, look like the sane one in the room. So, it's just something really crazy. Like I don't know why it's like almost like watching a car crash where you can't take your eyes off it. But just watching Kanye West just set his career on fire and just saying all these crazy things that really it's just an insane thing to watch lah. And then it's out there on the internet.
Awful. How can I watch it?
I know.
It's every reality TV hook, right? That sounds terrible. Where can I watch it?
Yeah, I mean, you can see clips of it on YouTube, but you can actually just listen to the full thing. Where, even just hearing the context of what they're talking about, how they're trying to converse with one another, and they're just talking in different tangents all the time. It's just it's just one guy is just talking about government conspiracies, the other one's talking about anti-Semitism and a lot of and how he thinks Hitler was a good person and all that. It's just it's a train wreck, man. But
sounds pretty rough, man.
If you have
your Shiok
3
thing?
hours, yeah, that's my Shiok thing.
That's it. Okay.
If you have 3 hours, if you have 3 hours to spare, and then you just want to see the crazy situation that this world is in, that's something to check out. Kanye West on InfoWars. But yeah, cool. Right, thank you so much, Rishi, for doing this. This was awesome. And just want to shout out where on the social media can people find you?
Hey, thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. You can find me on at Rishi Budhrani, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Budhrani is Budhrani. And of course, keep supporting the Ministry of Funny, man. They're constantly pushing the boundaries to do new and exciting stuff. Yeah, can't wait to see what you guys come up with next, man.
Well, fantastic. Likewise, same for us. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.